Hey, good day. Hi, this is Greg Bliss, City Manager here in Lebanon. Welcome to Lebanon in Depth. Today we are going to be having a little conversation with you all who are watching the show, residents of Lebanon and residents of the area. We're taking another step in our effort here in Lebanon as a city organization, as servants to people that live here. As public servants is what our responsibilities are, to try to get things aligned. Part of doing cities right is to work and to try to align all the facets and features of a city so that everyone's moving in a similar and same direction versus conflicting among a variety of different directions, going a variety of different ways. Trying to find the path so that all the factors are in alignment. It is called this year another edition of the city work plan, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I think it's kind of work plan 2.0, but as many of you have seen, we use a puzzle as a symbol because it is kind of a puzzle. And you'll see this on the website the city has, and you'll see it in a variety of different ways now. The city newsletters, alerts. It's all about outcomes, and the work plan, which is called the City of Lebanon Outcomes and Work Plan 2013, is devoted to carrying out the outcomes that policy leaders in our community have come together and formulated, working with the support of the city employees and the city residents, and come to the feeling that there are essentially the idea of our city is to be a sustainable community. In order to do that, outcomes need to be achieved and produced, and outcomes that are central core outcomes are excellent planning, economic vitality, self-sustaining individuals and families, physical responsibility, restraint, prudent long-term stewardship of resources, being good stewards, and public safety. We want a community that is safe and that you feel safe and that it's risk-free or risk diminished. These are the things we're striving for. The foundation for this approach was laid by our city council, and they laid it out in adopting certain principles that they had as kind of foundation documents from their work in developing an approach, including community access and engagement, a sense of the place of Lebanon, environmental responsibility and energy efficiencies, intelligent coordinated development and transportation, economic vitality, physical responsibility in regional leadership. We took these foundation principles of the council, working with the council, and developed a vision for Lebanon. And the City of Lebanon vision has become really a model for a balanced and desirable, sustainable community. We want to preserve the New England for rural character, yet we want to smartly manage the growth and the urbanization. We recognize we're a hub of the Upper Valley micropolitan area, and we need to meet the needs of the present, those who are here today, without compromising the ability of future generations in meeting their needs. Our mission is that we want to deliver a sustainable, effective, and responsive government. And we want everyone to come around this vision and mission and support it and look at the values we have. And then we want, as a city organization, to produce outcomes that best serve the health, safety, and welfare of all our Lebanon residents. I think these are very attractive principles for a community, and it's great that our leaders have produced this. We have taken this in the plan, and I want to thank, personally, support in my office from Paula Mayville, who is key leader with our city manager's office, and many of you meet her when you come into City Hall, come to my office, come to where she and I have offices. Paula Rue is also in that office. Paula Mayville spent a great deal of time on taking all these fine ideas and taking all the department outcomes and putting it into the document, which is now the work plan, which is online at our website. You can go to city manager's website and you'll be able to see a lot of the different languages we have with regards to this. And the conversation this afternoon in terms of our discussion, or this morning whenever you're listening to this, our presentation, is to kind of cover and have touch base on these different outcomes that we're involved with. And they're color coded because I love colors. In the Disney tradition, one of the fundamental things was the great color. And I think I took all my 3 children as we were growing up to all the Disney shows, and then later you end up with Disney VHSs, and now you have Disney discs. All the time that we always had the kids grow up with the Disney movies, and they're always very colorful. So color is an important part because it kind of attracts your attention and it lights some vibrancy. So I think being a sustainable community can also be a community that's full of many, many colors. And in the color scheme of things, we start out with the green color, and that's the green color for us is excellent planning, because there's a community that has aspirations to be a green community. Is really a community that's looking at emerging technologies, emerging lifestyles, and how to live out in this new generations that are coming forward, and that means that to be successful, we have to engage in excellent planning, and that's the first outcome that we got involved with. And the work plan reflects on excellent planning. Is the first thing is communication. The city communication plan that is being developed, it'll work on, it'll kind of be an evolution, but the communication plan is very essential for the successful city. We're going to, and some of you may have attended some of these already, but you'll see that we'll have community listening sessions, we'll have community conversations, and there'll be a variety of different settings, whether it's the Kilton Library, or whether it's in your neighborhood. You'll find that the kind of listening that needs to go on, and I think it's citizens being listened to and heard, and of course that's the first step of valuing and respecting. Also, the citizens can listen to one another, because if we could have more listening done in our community among all of us, I think the quality of what we want to do will be improved. We want to have people feel their voices are validated, and then we want to follow up, and we want to change and improve the city communication paradigm. We're going to be developing some communication templates, and these are just templates or just forms that of different ways of communicating that we're going to try to basically plant throughout the city. And you'll see them. There'll be everything from alerts. I think here in February, we have expectations of a snowfall very shortly, a significant one. There's alerts going out now with regard to that sort of thing. You'll see it in terms of voice messaging. You'll also see it in terms of like our video presentations, and then you'll see it in our website most of all. The website is something we want to encourage everyone to get involved with. I have hopes of creating, as part of these outcomes, kiosks, which are just places where you can access information, both voice and data, and try to look at where these kiosks might logically be placed. And right now I'm looking at the City Hall and the 2 city libraries, so that they're readily available to people, and they would allow for persons to be able to engage with the city in conversations either by a phone, in a very simple way, using 4-number digits to get to a particular office of the city, or a particular area of the city you want to find information about, or you want to transact business. They also will have the ability to access the website of these kiosks. There also would be some visual things at the kiosks that would be available to you to observe, and that will be hopefully helpful to you. So we want to make it easy and friendly and flexible for you to receive communication and give communication. We're re-looking at how we do systems where we process people's concerns, their comments. If they have a challenge that they're facing, they want some attention, we want to provide them new ways of being able to do that, and for us to be able to respond in a way that's not a slow way. It's an accountable way, and it's one that can be documented. You'll probably in the communication plan you'll see surveying more than before. Whether people have heard about the survey monkeys, which is an interesting term, but the use of surveys I think is going to be you'll find it increasingly available. But these will be short, simple surveys. They're not going to be long and winded surveys. These are going to be surveys that you can quickly respond to get some inputs from you into areas of your concern. We want to look at integrating and merging all our technologies into the communication plan. We even have some students from Dartmouth who are now providing us research on the use of technologies. But the website will be the primary focus of our attention. We have a great web master, and she is just terrific. And Melanie, we always applaud as our webmaster, is keeping us very current in trying to look at that website. I urge you on the communication. Next outcome is something really interesting that I hope some of you will like to participate in. That is the Citizen Academy. We plan to present a Citizen Academy. We are on the midst of doing the first plan for a Citizen Academy here in 2013. It'll coincide with the community conversations that we have, so that there's an educational component throughout this effort that kind of wraps us around all these things we're working on. You'll be at the Citizen Academy. We're going to make it a place of that you'll enjoy coming, a place of learning, and we'll provide applications for people who are interested in doing this, and we'll be providing more news as we follow through on. We'd like to see about the Citizen Academy this spring. We're also going to look at a fall session. So that's something to keep on the horizon, that there's a Citizen Academy out there that will be an opportunity for you to learn more about the city and have a real enjoyable experience and a learning experience and meet some really interesting fellow citizens. And you'll get a chance to meet the people that do the work in the city. And there's some real interesting things that happen in the city that you'll have a great chance of learning. I think one of our foremost points is that we want to base our efforts on defining neighborhoods. We're going to look at our neighborhoods. We're going to explore our historic areas. We're going to concentrate on area by area historically. We're going to look at our downtown areas, West Lebanon, our downtown there. We're going to look at how we centrally locate parks and community centers. So the excellent planning is going to be a great possibility there. Open space is really important to us, open space and recreation. And one of those aspects is we're looking at protecting wildlife corridors. We're going to develop an open space plan. These are things that are ongoing. We have some zoning amendments now. We're going to be looking at protection buffer with regard to streams and rivers. We're going to be looking at wetlands, protecting high-value wetlands. We're going to try to reduce our energy footprint in our community. As an organization, we want to contribute with our private and nonprofit sectors to how we do that. We're going to look at lighting standards we have. We're going to look at how we can have highly efficient lighting. We'd like to encourage hydroelectric. We want to support and promote button-up New Hampshire workshops. They're going to be looking at some property tax exemption policies for renewable projects in our community. We're going to practice ourselves looking at idling policies we should adopt. Our long-range multimodal, looking at transportation, all aspects of transportation. We want a comprehensive urban design for our areas, including Route 12A in the Miracle Mile area. We're going to look at Mechanic Street. I traverse Mechanic Street every day, and you know what that's like. You know what Miracle Mile is like. You know what 12A is like. We want to have a new designs that will help us with access management. And we're going to be looking at public parking and how public parking can be better utilized. We'll look at retrofits for these areas, and we're studying our Route 120 corridor challenge. We want in the Route 120 corridor challenge is that we want to look at the traffic patterns and the land uses involved. These are all important things because we want you to be able to feel comfortable and travel through our city as people that live here on our streets and highways, but also we want to have walking paths. We want to have biking paths. We want you to have a chance to have options. We want you to use transit. We want you to feel comfortable in using transit. And we're working with Advanced Transit and developing planning together. We'd like to get high performance in our land use. We're conducting we want to conduct a land use study of the areas I mentioned. You know, the Route 12A and the Miracle Mile and the Mechanic Street and 120 corridor. One of the challenges right now is the airport and the future of the airport. We're trying to get your inputs. We like to have 100% 360-degree input on the airport. Now, not just from the short-term issues, whether they be runways, length. Those are issues that are out today, but really the future. You know, if we could look at ourselves by a flyover in the years ahead of us, what would the city look like in terms of our air travel? Do we need an airport? Obviously, we're committed to a safe airport. Also, we're committed to an airport that's sound. I think we have considerations about improving our airport in many ways in terms of just the whole site, the whole footprint, in terms of our future, the surrounding businesses, working with other possible users of the property. How should that look for you, and from your perspective? And I think you need to think very broadly. All the citizens need to think very broadly about all our means of transportation, our air travel, how's the railroads going to look in our area. You know, how's our bus transit? I mean, we have some really excellent, opportunities with the different coach services. The Dartmouth coach is quite amazing. The Advanced Transit is really quite doing a great job with its lines. And they continue to work on how we can sustain that in tough times. But it's a really a system that has a lot of great assets to it. Another outcome that we're working on is just our pavement management program. We want to be sure that the pavement that we're kind of putting in with the CSO projects come to bear and are the kind of pavement development that we really need to have. I think that the recreation effort, we want that to be a collaborative effort between the private and the nonprofit and the public, the city. We need to work with the schools, and we need to work with the nonprofit groups, everyone from the art groups to the recreational groups to the youth sport groups. These are all very important partners. Recreation demands, in a time of limited resources, a sharing by all of us, whatever sector we're in. I don't think any one sector can bear that total need, because we want a highly productive, high quality recreation program, and we want to be part of it. Economic vitality is something that we are looking to partner with the private sector on. We want to initiate private sector engagement campaigns. We're working on them. We're working on an economic development, economic vitality exchange, where we have dialogue and conversation with business voices and voices from the public sector as well, and as well as the nonprofit sector. We want to be out there and visiting. I have again scheduled business and agency visits this year, about an average of one per week, in which I'm going to be paying a visit and a call to listen to the local businesses on what they feel is best for our community from their perspective. How can we all improve together? How can we align ourselves better? We are looking at the challenges ahead with our sustainable environmental resource development. Our solid waste program in our orange, again, it's orange economic, orange, a bright, sunny orange for this color. We want a responsible and sustainable economic resource management. We have some wonderful management going on at solid waste with George Murray. We want to evaluate alternative processes and uses of waste and recyclable materials. We want to evaluate equipment and operations on an ongoing basis in terms of more efficient ways of doing our landfill management. We want to determine more efficient ways of recycling materials. We want to review the costs of disposal and processing, and we're involved in regional initiatives for solutions to things like common waste and recycling issues. Composting is one of those issues. We want to provide more education and training for everyone in this area. The libraries are a critical part of economic development for us. And our libraries must be our center of our communities. Our library trustees and our foundation, who will be with us in a follow-up show, are really being quite creative and quite committed to making our libraries, both of them, our Lebanon Downtown Library and the Kilton Library, to be stronger and very much current places for our communities for multiple purposes, including, of course, our reading and the great world of reading, but also for many other resources we have, and for community gatherings and community services. So the library in our economic vitality outcome number 8 is very, very important to us. We want to have a diverse set of programs in our community for a variety of different ways and interests. People want to become healthy and well in our community, and we want to support them in that endeavor. We really want walkable parklands. The Muskoma Greenway is a very important connector, and it'll be a joining mechanics project over the years here that are coming. That's one of the important outcomes, to have a pathway between downtown Lebanon and West Lebanon. Successful farmer markets is a very important outcome for us in the work plan. I hope you all are attending farmers markets. It's a great place for you to be involved. As I mentioned, public safety is very extremely important. We're in the midst of following through in these outcomes. And the great thing about outcomes is they're succession devices, because it's not so much the people that hold an office or who's here, whoever it might be. It's the fact that this community is working on outcomes, things that happen on the ground. We're in the midst of a transition, and police, as our new police chief, will be recruited, and we in fact are finding candidates now, because our remarkable police chief, Jim Alexander, is retiring. So with Jim's kind assistance and great wisdom, I'm working with my HR director, Sheila Wall, to hire a new police chief. And when that police chief gets here, one of the ideal things is that we continue what Jim Alexander and Deputy Chief Gary Smith and all the police officers have started, is that the sense of security we have in our community. We want a sense of place, and we want to have desirable, safe and livable neighborhoods. And so the red outcome on public safety, actually we had kind of arm wrestling contests between fire and police, and fire won this one. So they got to be red. But the fire department is a great partner as well in what we're trying to do. They are trying to heighten the citizens' awareness and engagement in taking care of ourselves when it comes to fire events regarding other types of events like that. We are developing a lot of educational opportunity for people who want to learn about fire, including our various surveys related to the subject of fire protection. We'll have a curriculum in our Citizen Academy about fire protection as well. So these are areas that we want to be. Of course, we want to be the best we can be, and that includes both police and fire. We want to, in this police and fire, both are neighborhoods. Once again, neighborhood based. Our planning is neighborhood based. Our police is neighborhood based. Our fires are neighborhood based. And sometimes we call the center of our neighborhoods the nodes, which is a funny word, but it really is another word for being the center of our lives. And that is our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods. We may have neighborhood districts. We may have village districts instead of neighborhoods. Whatever the nomenclature is, we'll look at these neighborhoods. And the great thing about Lebanon and West Lebanon, they've already kind of defined ourselves in what neighborhoods. People understand what neighborhood they're in, wherever they're at here in Lebanon. And that's a really neat thing because some places don't have that identity, but we do have that identity. And that's a strength, and we want to build on the strength of neighborhoods in our public safety arena. We're looking at safe construction and occupancy. We want to keep current in our outcomes, our compliance with fire and life codes. We really want, and water is very important to us. Water might be more important than anything to us because we want safe drinking water. We want to maintain a safe water plant and a safe distribution of water in our community. This is important to us, and equally important to us is we want healthy situations. We want safely treated water. We are working with that. We want to maintain our wastewater facilities in safe and cost-effective manners. We're looking at new technologies, and we're going to deploy them whenever we can. We want to make sure that we meet all the required testing and monitoring for all our utility operations. We have mentioned the airport earlier, but we always have to remember that it's also part of being safety and public safety is having a safe and sound airport. I am now engaging also in conversations with our nonprofit partners. We're examining how we deliver human services. We're doing a program assessment. We want to ensure that we provide the proper safety net in our community, and we want to provide when we need to be. When you never can tell. Everyone in life, you never can tell when you might be in a situation where you need that extra support, that safety net to help cushion some very difficult circumstances. So we're going to work with our partners. We want to communicate about our safety net. We want to improve it. We think our performance. We want to strive to keep moving on that performance, improve it, get it to where it needs to be. Part of our services is youth. We have an outcome for helping individuals is at-risk youth. We want to look at how we can do things. What places can we have? Where can we go for activities, whether they be skate parks or outdoor adventure series or mentoring with coaches? What can we do? The last thing I'll mention in our outcomes is simply the most one to me. It's like heart, being a good financial steward. We have to live within the means we have. The resources have gotten limited. We have to prioritize them and focus like a laser beam on the outcomes that we've designated. We know how we're going to manage. We're going to try to be as transparent as possible. We are going to be frugal but not foolish in how we handle the budget. We want to make sure we have adequate reserves. As we've been doing, we've been zero-basing everything. We have looked at our budget lines, and we continue our departments do in their budget work. It's strong budget work, looking at each line item. These are very important things. We want to make sure that we have appropriate compensation and benefits. We want to make sure they're equitable within our organization. We We want to have a balanced approach toward the capital improvement plan. We have the public policy leaders in our community over the years have approached the CSO effort that we have with a lot of vigor. And we're redoing our infrastructure as we go through the CSO project, which is separation of water and sewer, and from stormwater and sewer. And then we're doing really some change outs to our community, but we're doing walkabouts when we do that. We're walking about with people in their community and on their doorsteps, on their lawn, talking to them about what might happen and how would be best for their street to look. We want to have it's just a principle-centered financial management system with strong auditing and great and strong efforts at preserving our resources. We want to make sure all our billing and everything we do in terms of collection are accurate and fair. And most of all, one of the things we're going to maintain our technology. These are many outcomes. I'll be talking about them with individuals as we go out through the year of 2013. We're getting ready for in conclusion the work plan that will be 14, 15, and 16, a 3-year work plan. That'll be a pilot for the future. This is another survival year. We're using our work plan 2.0 this year. I hope you can get behind us on this. We'll need your help because nobody here in the community can do this alone. We all have to do it together. And I hope you be safe and some of this winter weather up, drive carefully. Thank you, and best wishes on behalf of the City of Lebanon to all the persons here that live here and all our neighbors. Thank you.